This video is spoiler free, except for two very early game mini-bosses being shown for the reference. I've finished my first playthrough of Sekiro now and I had a great time with the game. One of the best things about the game is its boss battles, so in this video I'm going to give you a little advice that might make the learning process of some of the bosses in the game a bit easier. So a lot of the bosses in Sekiro demand quite a bit of trial and error before you get the hang of them. When to deflect, when to dodge, when to jump, or when to use a counter move. But one way to approach new bosses that I figured out to use way too late on my first playthrough was to do absolutely nothing. Well, at least at first, but let me explain. When you enter a new boss fight, you have no idea what kind of attacks the boss might have in its arsenal, so it's pretty risky to run dick first into groping distance with them. That's unfortunately what I did most of the time and paid for it.
Somebody's getting fucked!
What I suggest you do, however, is to keep a good distance to the boss and observe. What kind of attacks is it going to perform? When is the good time to go in? Very few bosses in the game can surprise you with their attacks when you have enough range on them. I found out that the best way to test if the boss is open after their attacks is to sprint around them and go in for the running poke attack after they have finished their attack first. By the way, since the game doesn't really tell you this too clearly, holding R1 will let you do the poke attack that deals better damage than the normal R1 attack, and as far as I know it cannot be blocked either, however it can be deflected. This way you can test for the boss's openings and observe what kind of enemy you're dealing with here. Does it take damage or does it preferably need to be posture broken? Some bosses regain their posture meter back very fast, so this is a good way to know about it early on as well and then crank up the aggression accordingly. Doing this running around in and out tactic isn't that effective on 100% of the bosses. Some of them demand very specific approach for you to beat them. But against most of the bosses in the game, starting out the fights like this is a very good way to learn what the bosses can do. And remember, taking out even some of the bosses' health bar down with pokes like this is beneficial, since their posture cranks up faster the lower their health is. That's it for this little advice. Hopefully this turns out useful for some of you. Take care.
Somebody's getting fucked! Somebody's getting fucked!